Heloise Parker had never expected to find love while tending her family's lavender fields in Provence. But then again, she'd never expected aliens to become obsessed with her bees either. As the sun set over the purple landscape, casting long shadows across the ancient farmhouse, Heloise closed the gate to the last hive. The day's inspection had gone well. The colonies were thriving under the new protocols established by the International Apiary Committee. "Your bees appear exceptionally productive," came a now familiar voice. Heloise turned to see Zin standing at the edge of the field. Unlike the other Proximans who still wore their environmental suits in Earth's atmosphere, Zin had undergone a specialized treatment, developed using honey enzymes, that allowed limited exposure to Earth's air. "They like the lavender," Heloise replied simply, pulling off her veiled hat and letting her copper hair catch the evening light. "What brings you to Provence? I thought you'd be in Geneva with the main delegation." "I volunteered to inspect the rural production sites," Zin said, stepping carefully between the rows of lavender. "The others find your countryside discomforting, too organic, too unpredictable." "And you don't?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "I find it fascinating," Zin admitted, "like you." In Geneva, Olivia was facing her own unexpected emotional complication. After weeks of intense negotiations, the professional boundaries between her and Jackson had begun blurring in ways that both thrilled and terrified her. "The Galactic Council representatives arrive tomorrow," Jackson reminded her as they shared a late dinner in his hotel suite, surrounded by proposal drafts and biological reports. "Are you ready?" "As ready as I'll ever be," Olivia sighed, pushing away her barely touched pasta. "I never imagined my research would turn into this." Jackson poured them both another glass of wine. "Few people in history have had the opportunity to shape humanity's first interstellar agreement. You should be proud." "I'm terrified," she admitted. "What if we're making a mistake? What if they take advantage of us once they have what they want?" Jackson set down his glass and moved to sit beside her on the couch. "That's why we've structured the agreement as we have. Limited initial exchange, technology transfer first, then honey production only after their conservation technology proves effective." When he placed his hand over hers, Olivia felt a flutter that had nothing to do with diplomatic anxiety. "You've been extraordinary through all this," he said softly. Before she could respond, her tablet chimed with an urgent message from Diego. "The Galactic Council advance team has arrived early. They're requesting immediate access to our research facility." In France, Heloise and Zin had developed their own private routine. Each evening, after her work with the bees was complete, they would walk through the lavender fields as Zin explained the cosmos and Heloise shared Earth's natural wonders. "Your scientists focus so much on technology," Heloise said as they watched fireflies emerge in the twilight. "But they miss the everyday magic." "Like your bees," Zin agreed. "On my world, we engineered away such inefficiencies. Everything is designed, manufactured, controlled." "And are you happier for it?" she asked. Zin's silence was answer enough. When Zin's appendage tentatively reached for her hand, Heloise didn't pull away. The alien's touch was cool and strange against her skin, but not unpleasant. "This arrangement between our worlds," Zin said hesitantly, "it will not last forever. Eventually, I will have to return." Heloise turned to face him, studying the alien features that had somehow become dear to her. "Then we should make the most of the time we have, shouldn't we?" In Geneva, as the Galactic Council representatives toured the research facility, Olivia found herself watching Jackson with new awareness. His diplomatic skill was remarkable, smoothly guiding the conversation, addressing concerns before they were fully formed, making both humans and aliens feel heard and valued. When the alien delegation retired to their quarters for the night, Jackson found Olivia in the observation room, watching the bees through the glass wall. "They liked your presentation," he told her, standing closer than professionally necessary. "Especially the part about symbiotic relationships." Olivia turned to him with a small smile. "I was thinking about us when I wrote that section." Before Jackson could respond, the facility lights dimmed unexpectedly, leaving them in the soft blue glow of the emergency system. "Power fluctuation from the alien ships," Jackson explained, not moving away, "happens whenever they transmit large data packets." In the strange blue light, With the humming of thousands of bees surrounding them, Olivia finally did what she'd been thinking about for weeks. She leaned forward and kissed him. The Grand Assembly Hall of the United Nations had been transformed for the historic occasion. Representatives from every Earth nation filled the chamber, along with delegates from 27 galactic civilizations, all present to witness the signing of what was now being called the Nectar Accord. Olivia stood at the podium, still uncomfortable in the formal diplomatic attire Jackson had insisted on. The ceremonial pen felt heavy in her hand as she prepared to sign on behalf of Earth's scientific community. 1 year ago, she began, her voice carrying through the hushed hall, a misunderstanding during a storm led to one of the most significant discoveries in interspecies relations. Today, we formalize not just a trade agreement, but a partnership that will benefit all our worlds. Ambassador Crix, now Earth's most ardent advocate in galactic circles, stood alongside representatives from the Galactic Council. The treaty before them was the result of months of negotiation, compromise, and increasingly, friendship. Under its terms, Earth would receive advanced technologies for environmental restoration, medical treatment, and limited space travel. In exchange, carefully monitored honey production would supply galactic medical needs through a quota system designed to protect bee populations. Most importantly, Earth would receive full protective status as the sole source of this precious resource, effectively shielding the planet from any potential hostility. The bees of Earth, Crix addressed the assembly, represent something we had forgotten in our pursuit of technological advancement, the power of natural symbiosis. These small creatures, through their relationship with flowering plants, create something no laboratory has replicated. They remind us that sometimes the most advanced solutions are those that evolve naturally. As Olivia signed her name, she caught Jackson's eye from the front row. Their relationship had deepened alongside the diplomatic one, moving from tentative affection to something much more permanent. Tomorrow, after the ceremonies concluded, they would begin their own private journey, a well-deserved vacation away from the spotlight that had been focused on them for months. In the audience, Diego sat beside his research team, beaming with pride. Their laboratory had become the coordination center for the new Interspecies Apicultural Research Initiative, a program that was already yielding promising results for bee conservation worldwide. And in a small but significant gesture, Heloise Parker had been invited to attend as a representative of traditional beekeepers. Beside her sat Zin, who had been granted special dispensation to remain on Earth as a permanent liaison, a diplomatic arrangement that fooled absolutely no one about its true nature. After the ceremony, as delegates mingled in the reception hall, Olivia found herself momentarily alone, watching the elaborate interactions between humans and aliens who, just a year ago, had been complete strangers. "Penny for your thoughts, Dr. Wright?" Jackson asked, appearing at her side with 2 champagne flutes. "I was just thinking about how quickly everything changed," she replied, accepting the glass. "A year ago, I was worrying about research grants and colony collapse disorder. Now we're discussing interstellar policy." "And yet," Jackson observed, "you're still fundamentally doing what you've always done, protecting the bees." "On a slightly larger scale," she agreed with a smile. Across the room, Ambassador Crix was engaged in animated conversation with several world leaders, his translator working overtime to keep up with his enthusiasm. The once dismissive alien had become Earth's most devoted champion in galactic politics. "I received word this morning," Jackson said quietly. "The first shipments of honey have already produced remarkable results in treating the degenerative condition on Proxima Centauri. They're calling it a miracle." Olivia shook her head. "Not a miracle, just bees doing what they've done for millions of years." As if on cue, the great doors of the reception hall opened to reveal an elaborate display. A massive glass observation hive, specially constructed for the occasion, containing thousands of bees busy at their eternal work. The assembled galactic representatives fell silent, watching in awe as the tiny insects, once dismissed as insignificant, demonstrated the complex dance that had ultimately changed humanity's place in the universe. "To the bees," Jackson proposed, raising his glass, "Earth's smallest diplomats." "And to unexpected partnerships," Olivia added, thinking of Heloise and Zin, of herself and Jackson, and ultimately of humanity's new place among the stars. As night fell over Geneva, the newly ratified Nectar Accord was transmitted across the galaxy. Earth's status had transformed from an obscure backwater world to a crucial hub of interstellar relations, all because a storm had driven aliens to shelter in an apiary, where they discovered the sweetest deal in the galaxy.